Hey, my name is Ben Piper. I'm Ward 6 Alderman here in Hernando.
And I'm Chad Wicker, Ward 4 Alderman in the city of Hernando. How you doing?
This is our Hernando board update that we started doing these videos to give constituents an idea of what's going on here in Hernando, what we've been working on as a board to move our city forward. And this video will kind of hone in on the October 19th and November 2nd meetings, the board meetings that we had. For those of you that couldn't make it, and for those of you that just want to get kind of a general update of some things that are going on here in the city.
Right, there are just so many things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis that we want to talk about and get the message out to the public that I think is important. I think we both campaigned on being very transparent and trying to be very informative, and this is just another step in doing that. So I guess the first thing we want to talk about, Ben, is and what we've done is kind of pick some of the more important topics of our board meetings. And sometimes these board meetings are 3 or 4 pages worth of agendas, and it's very small things that really is not important. Well, I don't want to say that. Everything's important, but is not as important as other things.
So, sometimes there's a lot of personnel moves and hires, and maybe somebody's getting a step raise, or they're going off a probationary hire period, or things like that, like things that are really more just kind of more run of the mill, just daily business. But what we want to try to touch on are things that are changes, whether it's a change in policy or there's something that people need to be aware of that's going on. So I'll let you grab the first one.
All right,
there.
The first thing we did is our fire chief came to us and asked us if we would consider adopting some fire marshal fees and fines. And so prior to this, we didn't really charge anything to people when they wanted fire permits and things like that. And now we're going to start charging them, which is right in line with what other cities are doing. And this would be a revenue generating deal for the city. So I think it's a win-win for us.
What's important for people to know here, if you do hear about this, this is really more for the commercial, for the business sector rather than residential. So there's no need to be concerned about the fire marshal showing up at your home to do some kind of fire inspection and getting some kind of fee or fine related to your home. It's more around as new businesses are coming into Hernando, that we're putting in that due diligence to make sure that they have a safe facility, and the fire department has not been collecting those revenues, but other cities in DeSoto County are. So we're just kind of getting caught up with the times a little bit there. So the next thing is that we did have several asset purchases that we made, and what I mean by that, we had some police vehicles that we purchased, about 7 police vehicles. We had 2 tractors for I believe for public works, and then a mower as well for public works. So with all those things, those were budgeted purchases that were made. Our police chief asked for some of these new police vehicles for some hires that we were going to be making, increase in headcount in our police department. We haven't had a significant increase to police headcount in the last 12 years, so that was something that we were all committed to from a public safety standpoint. But getting those vehicles there for those new hires, and also surplusing out some of the old ones, getting some new vehicles in for our police. The tractors and the mower, it just came down to these things were just worn out, time to replace them. Right. They were beyond the state of repair, and the repairs on them was just becoming more than what costs for new ones potentially would be.
Well, one thing I think is important to bring up is like with McInville, the new McInville road that we put in, we've got a lot more right-of-way to take care of, and there's a lot more grass that needs to be cut. And so one of the things we bought was a boom mower to help cut the grass in that area and make it easier on the staff and safer on the staff.
Moving on, we had some discussion on upgrading a water line in the Green Tea McInville exit area. You're probably aware that the field house, now known as the Gatorade field house, is nearing completion of construction, and we're looking at upgrading a water line from 8 inches to 12 inches. And really the purpose there is that the city would be purchasing a 12-inch water line. As businesses are putting in this 8-inch water line, the city would go ahead and do that upgrade on the front end to potentially save taxpayers money, so that you don't have a business putting in an 8-inch line and the city coming back later as the area develops out more and puts in a 12-inch one, and it incurs the cost of labor and the pipe there.
All right, so the legal way we're going to do that is basically the developer is going to develop that water line, put it in, and then we're going to purchase some of it back from him, or purchase it back from him at a agreed upon cost. So there's money on the front end. There's no guarantee that we're going to do that. He understands that, and he's just willing, I think, to help the community and help that area get the water it needs to continue to develop.
And we know that there's some other businesses that are going to be coming to that area. There's been some more commercial zoning that's been approved for that area, so it will continue to develop out. It's going to need that additional capacity.
Right. I think that's moving on to the next item. Just so everybody knows, Thanksgiving holiday is coming up, and the city offices will be closed Thursday and Friday. That would be November 25th and 26th in observance of Thanksgiving, and then on December 23rd and 24th in observance for Christmas. That's in accordance with the governor's proclamation that he did last month. So just make preparations that the city hall will be closed those 4 days.
If you need to get by there to pay a water bill or do whatever you need to do, you want to make sure you keep those dates in mind for sure. We also, in light of Christmas coming up, Dickens of a Christmas is coming up on Friday, November 12th through Sunday, November 14th. We closed Panola Street down. Some of you may be familiar with Mudbug Bash and some of the other events that go on Panola Street. The Water Tower Barbecue Cook-Off is on that same street. That street will be closed down for an ice skating rink to be installed there. I believe it's 20 feet by 40 feet. It's a really large ice skating rink that's being completely covered by sponsors, including Senator Mike McClendon, Supervisor Michael Lee, and some local businesses that are sponsoring that.
No cost to the city at all.
No cost to the city, and the proceeds that are collected from that will go to several local charities and several local organizations that help benefit the Hernando community. So that'll be a really cool addition to the Dickens of a Christmas this year. Again, that'll start on Friday evening around 4:30 until about 7:30. The ice skating rink will be open. We'll light the Christmas tree, which will be really exciting. And on Saturday, I know there's a lot going on too. You may know more about that.
Right, yeah. So there's activities all day Saturday. There's open houses. The skating rink will be open, I think, starting at 8:30 in the morning, and I think until 7:30 at night. All the businesses around the area are doing different sales and specials in accordance with Christmas. The courthouse will be open. There's going to be some dancing, different areas. There's going to be people walking around in Dickens era, I guess the early 18th century era dress, so you can take pictures. It's just a really cool deal that the Hernando started doing a couple years ago, and I think last year we won an award from the Mississippi Municipal League for the do, and Gia Matheny is the one who heads us up, and she does a great job. She does a great job, and it's just really a cool deal, and it just goes to the Hernando's great place to live, work, and raise a family, and that's what we want. So
if you want to see all the details on that, all the vendors, all that kind of stuff, you can search for Hernando Dickens of a Christmas on Facebook, and you should be able to find an interactive map that they have that we typically use for the farmers market, but they have updated it to show all the vendors for Dickens of a Christmas as well, which should be a great event. Another thing that we touched on in some of our board meetings, we looked at ways to address and prevent flooding issues in subdivisions throughout the city. It's been a continued kind of talking point. Several people have had issues with that. A lot of Hernando's the dirt that we have is very clay and gravel heavy, and so we do deal with some erosion issues there. But really our goal, I think, as a board is to try to make sure that the builders and developers are held accountable so that the product that people are buying when they come to Hernando is a safe home, and it's a safe piece of property that is going to be worth the investment. That's typically people's largest investment is their primary home.
I thought we had a great discussion about that. We had developers get up and speak. We had, I think, some builders spoke. We had some citizens speak at the meeting, and I think we're going to go forward. We're going to look at ways to make sure we're maintaining a safe standard with our inspections, and make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to do to make sure that the flooding and drainage is correct as it's drawn on the plat. And so going forward, I think we're going to have a plan to address that. So.
Additionally, when we talk about planning, and I know this was one thing that people probably heard a lot about, and usually what people think about when they think about city council and aldermen is street paving and pothole repairs and those kind of things. So we did look at a list of approved street repair and overlays. We did ask our city engineer to go ahead and put those out to bid. Included in that, it's roughly about $1.19 million worth of street repairs and paving. But included in that is the soccer complex paving, the parking lot there, which desperately needs to be done. From my personal standpoint, it is definitely really rough out there. I think it's difficult for people to know exactly where to park, and really it's something where you want the kids that are going out there to have a really safe experience, I think, as well. So that'll be something we most likely are looking at as this next summer comes about. And one of the reasons why we're looking at this list now is because the bidding process and everything that goes into paying for roads to be paved and repairs, it takes 30, 60, 90 days sometimes to get through this entire process until people can get the work going. So we're looking at it now so that way we can hit the ground running in February and March and really hopefully start to see some street repairs take place.
Yeah, so, and what we did, we had our city engineer develop a list of what he thought were some roads that needed to be addressed, and so that's kind of what started. And then we've added some roads, taken some roads away, and so I think we got a pretty good list. We agreed to move forward with bidding those out, and again, that's probably not going to start work happening until January, February, but we do have a plan moving forward to address our infrastructure needs. We know that's an issue in Hernando that has sometimes been put on a back burner, and I think we're all committed to changing that and moving forward with it.
And a lot of that figure, a lot of the budget for it was created based on an engineering study that we did that told us if we spend around $1.2 million a year, that we should be able to get on track with maintaining our city streets. So we're kind of coming in at that budgeted amount, and we're going to be using dollars from the general fund of the city's budget, and then potentially some of the lottery dollars that are brought in to the city's accounts. Money generated from the lottery can be used for street repairs as well. So we'll be looking at that as a revenue generator as well. Additionally, we created a committee. Right, we created a committee.
You're on that committee.
I'm on the committee to look at street safety devices, to look at speed bumps in some of the areas where, whether it's neighborhood streets or whatever it may be, where people have had speeding issues, and we really want to try to start developing a criteria for understanding where these need to go, and how much the cost is going to be, and what the return on that investment will be as well.
Absolutely. And it is something that I think Alderman Miller has really, I think, been pushing the issue for years, and he's really advocate for these things, and he said that people have asked for them, so we work for the people, so if they ask for something, we're going to try to provide that. So we're going to take a good look at those and see if there's a criteria we put in place and what areas we meet that criteria, and start putting some out. I think is what we're going to try to do. I
think what's important for people to know with that specific thing is that we are looking at options that are removable. They aren't permanent speed bumps. They're not necessarily engineered speed bumps that are going to be built out of concrete or asphalt. They would be something that would be strictly something that could be bolted in and taken out, so that we could really see, hey, is this working? Is it not working? And then as traffic patterns potentially change, as new roads are cut, we could have those removed so that they're not a burden further down the line. Another important thing coming up is the Veterans Day Parade.
We've got a Veterans Day Parade Thursday at 10 o'clock. It's going to follow the same parade route as all the other parades. It's very important to get out there and support your veterans. So
absolutely can't wouldn't be able to do what we're doing right now without them, and we certainly appreciate their sacrifice. Hernando High School has a playoff football game against Starkville at Starkville this Friday at 7 p.m. I know that we both attended the last regular season game, right, senior night, with all those guys. It was very cold, but they gutted out a win against Olive Branch and were able to win 24-20. Which was a really big win for the high school football team.
Yeah, that's a great time in life for those kids, and I wish them the best of luck, and go Tigers.
Yeah.
So.
Lastly, one other thing that we want to touch on, don't forget Dickens of a Christmas on this upcoming weekend, the 12th, 13th, and 14th. but we also are narrowing down our search for the next Parks and Recreation Director for the city of Hernando. We've taken in several applications, and we are starting to narrow that down. Hopefully, we'll be able to move forward with that before the end of the year for sure.
Yeah.
But we are in that process where we're bringing individuals in to interview for that job, and it will be a very big hire for us.
Yeah, I'm excited about the 2 candidates we have left, and it's a big hire for us, and we have a lot of good things going forward, I think so.
Absolutely, and there's so many families in Hernando. We know that Parks and Recreation is a really important part of the city of Hernando moving forward. Because we want to have facilities that can really represent, the best of Hernando. That the students that we have here and the kids that we have here that are playing soccer, that are playing baseball, have the facilities that they need to, if they want to play at the competitive level or they just want to enjoy sports, that they can have a healthy lifestyle, learn how to play new sports, and really just enjoy,
Absolutely.
playing sports in Hernando.
That's right. Well, I think that's all we got.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be back again. I would think
next 6 weeks or so, maybe after holidays, we'll see what happens.
We might have a Christmas edition, and we may do that. You never know.
Get some L's or something in here.
You never know what we might come up with. But we appreciate y'all viewing. If you have any kind of comments, anything that you want to see from these videos, we're both on social media. You can message us directly or post right beneath the video to let us know what you want to see more of.
All right. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thanks so much.